Hello everyone. Now I'll introduce the basic usage of custom modules. You can create a custom module from the IDE menu by selecting Menu, New Module. In the pop-up window, enter the module name and choose a save path, then you'll be taken to the custom module editor. At the top of the editor page, you'll find icons for save, encrypt, and debug. Encryption protects your module's source code. Once a password is set, anyone who imports this module into a project will need that password to edit it. Debug allows you to test the module directly here, without needing to run it in a project every time. The top left section is the module area. At the bottom, there are two add buttons that let you customize the number of input and output nodes. When hovering over a node, you'll see a plus icon and a trash bin icon to add or delete nodes, and a pencil icon to rename a node. In the top right, the Settings button lets you add configuration options for the module, such as a username and password for specific use cases. The bottom left area is for Help, where you can write usage instructions for the module. These instructions will be displayed when the module is imported into a project. The right-hand side is the coding area where you'll use JavaScript 2 predefined functions. Init and exec_input are already written with comments and they cannot be deleted. The init function handles initialization settings. Data from the module's configuration, like username and password, is accessible here as JSON objects. The exec_input function is triggered whenever any input node receives data. From the comments, you can see it takes two parameters: index, the input node index, and params, a JSON array with two objects, one string and one hexadecimal string. Their types are identified by type, 1 for strings, and type, 2 for hex strings, with values stored in value. Clicking the question mark icon in the top right corner displays commonly used built-in functions available for custom modules. For example, let's create a module that outputs two completed HTTP request parameters. In the module's settings, the user will input a username and password. When input 0 is triggered, it sets the temperature for zone 1. When input 1 is triggered, it gets the temperature for zone 2. Both request parameters are output through output 0. This requires two conditional checks. When index .0, execute the logic for setting temperature, use params .value to get the input value, then combine it with the username and password before outputting. When index .1, output the request parameters for getting the temperature. Afterward, you can use the debug function to check the results. One thing to note: when the input value is a string, it must be enclosed in double quotes. When it's a hexadecimal string, don't use quotes, but it must start with 0x. Thank you for watching.